And folks, here we are. It is one. My goodness. A little bit of a breezy but very cool Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Yes, it is. Here we are. Now, this is a controversy that we're going to tell you about. Starting to hit the news. Folks, share that you are watching. Right now, 7:14, Tuesday night. After a late night in Portsmouth, it is the chosen one. Well, Coventry campers ordered to leave Home Depot parking lot. I don't get this at all. I don't get this in any way. And I'll tell you what, this is so unfair. Folks, share that you are watching. I'm going to tell you the story. Now, behind me, you can see, you have these different campers. And these people are all, oh, good. Thank you, Roberta. Folks, they're all self-reliant. And I want to show you a little bit. The place is clean, right? There's no needles. Who are they bothering? And they're gonna get kicked out. They're not bothering anyone. They're in the campers, right? Here comes another one right now. All right, maybe they are bothering some people. I think that's someone getting kicked out. Maybe they don't like the attention. This Josh Allen Cooney. No, but seriously, they're not. Look at what we're doing right now with housing, right? Governor McKee is, in fact, hi there, Jen. Everyone is, there's Joey. They're not asking. Let's go through the checklist. Are they sleeping outside the Rhode Island State House? No. Is this lot filled with litter or needles? No. Is the state paying for them to live at the homeless hotel Motel 6? No. Well, then what are we talking about? I just spoke with someone. I offered if he wanted to come on. He didn't want to. I'm not going to disturb him. But he's a veteran. His wife is actually very well dressed. They keep their camper immaculate. And they shop at the stores. Like, what are we talking about? And what I really don't understand, and some of you may not have followed it, but there's always been around the country, there's been a policy with Walmart. So it's Walmart and Home Depot. Let me just show you a little bit. So here is, you see, there's the Home Depot right here. And then someone told me some of them were moving over to Walmart. But so when you pan around, they're all very nice campers and trailers. These people, by all accounts, they're not bothering anyone. They are minding their own business. They're not panhandling by any means, right? There's no trash. So what are we talking about? Notice, but also notice there's no advocates here. Thank you for the stars, folks, on this Tuesday night. Look at these people. Now, these RVs and campers. Obviously, number one, you've got to have income. I think a lot of them have vehicles. Why? It used to be a rule with Walmart that if you shop with them, you can camp with them. So if you're going around the country and, if you're going to shop at a Walmart in pick a place, right? Oklahoma, Iowa, Nebraska. If you shop there, then you could pull your RV, your camper in, and you could camp there. So, what are we talking about? These people, there's no calls of police. The gentleman I was speaking with, he was saying that they kind of patrol themselves. There's no kind of trouble. So I saw they got eviction notices. Overnight parking is not permitted. Parking in this lot is for customers of Home Depot only. They shop at Home Depot. Vehicles left overnight are subject to being towed at owner's expense. So I don't, again, let's compare. Who have we been talking about? Okay, I got a message here. What she's her parents been kicked out of here. Came from Home Depot. Oh, a lot of trailer park travel. Not very good people, so they probably overstayed their welcome. I don't know. But I do know this area is clean. So thank you for that. Folks, tomorrow night we will be out on the town. Thank you for the stars, folks. If you enjoy Beyond the Scene live stream your way, even though it's impossible to ever repay Juan for his countless hours of drop and go, you can do it in the form of stars. But, all right, so they're saying there's some problems, but I don't see needles here. I don't see trash here. What do we always notice whenever we go to and see some of these homeless encampments? These people, you know, they're filthy. I don't see any trash around here in any way. It's quiet. They're not like marching all over the place, right? Or anything like that. So now someone tells me he's friends with one of the camper's daughters. Her parents have been kicked out of every campground in Rhode Island for moving to Home Depot. They have some issues. Lots of drama in there. Apparently they're very good. So, you know, it depends on who it is, right? It depends on who it is. So, but I think, you know, the state needs to get serious. Let's talk about some of the things that I happen to like about this. We're not paying for it, right? We're not paying for it. Granted, I can understand if you're Home Depot or if you're Walmart, right? Private companies. But how long were those individuals allowed to sleep in tents outside the State House? How long were those people, something's going on, allowed to stay at the Cranston Street Armory, right? How long there's been at least 40 people that have stayed at the Motel 6 since the fall, and now 55 are moving in, and the state is paying for their rooms at the homeless hotel, the Motel 6. So these individuals, without knowing like all the details, and again, I am unaware, although there's a little racket at the moment. I hope I'm not causing it, because I'm not here for that. But I don't fully get exactly what the problem is, based on what else is going on in the state. Some kind of a disagreement, but that can happen, folks. That can happen anywhere, right? But I you know, and I understand if the town of Coventry, but I think they need to start to come up with some alternatives for people that want to live in this manner, because these individuals are all totally self-reliant, right? There's no one panhandling here. I don't see any tents here. I don't see anything remotely close like that. Anyone that knows, those are pretty, you know, expensive trailers and campers. And so, like, so now you're going to kick these people out. Now, I guess, I don't know, is there some program where if you pay someone, they could put their camper or trailer in a driveway? I would just think that with everything going on in the state, if you have some people that say, listen, you know, we don't have an apartment, we don't have a home, we don't have a condo, but we have our camper, we have our trailer, so we're willing to go somewhere where we're going to do that. And the gentleman that I spoke to, he said the people in and around here spend thousands at these stores. The individual that I spoke to, they're well dressed, and maybe they need to figure something out exactly where they're going to go. But thank you for the stars. We're all acknowledging that there's a housing problem. I think that the city and the state needs to work with certain individuals that are willing, right? These people, at the very least, I even asked, all right, so maybe they're a little loud. So maybe I asked, so do you know, because I had corresponded, I was communicating, I was doing a radio show, and it was actually in another state, and the person was telling me that they mapped out their route for, in certain parts of the country, the Walmarts are basically, some of them are almost open 24 hours, and some might be open 24 hours. So they actually mapped their trip that way, and they'd spend the weekend. There's the Walmart down in Westerly, where I remember a cleaning company telling me that the people used to come in, and they'd have clam bakes and set up shop there. Now, again, I'm not saying it would be for me, but they're not sleeping in tents. They're not on the street. So here's what I think this is an example of, and again, I don't know the individuals that are in these. However, what you don't have is you don't have the homeless advocates protesting on their behalf. You don't have, so much of like the homeless are, we have nothing. We are living under an underpass. The drug abuse, right? The needles, alcohol, and so forth. By all accounts, I mean, these people, all right, so maybe something needs to be worked out. A lot of them, they seem to be trailer in a car or a camper in a car. So I'm imagining that when they have to go somewhere, they use that and then they just leave here. But I don't know. And having like some people around, I think it adds a little safety, elements of safety. There's always safety in numbers, as we know. So you're going to see this on the news. Now let's see what happens. Now I want to be very clear. I fully understand, this is private property. This is the property of Home Depot. It's the property of Walmart. I started to ride down there and see if there were a bunch of campers down there, and someone was telling me, I didn't see it. It doesn't mean that they're not there, but I did not see that, so that they were over there. But they are being evicted, and I'll tell you what I think is unfair. And again, everybody, good evening. It is Juan at 7:25. It's Tuesday evening. Last night we were in Middletown. I tell so many of you, if you subscribe to the page and follow the page, you know when we go live. I'm so glad we went to Portsmouth. We were in Portsmouth. We had to go through Middletown to get to Portsmouth. And then we were able to speak to the chief last night. But, I mean, I understand the nature of someone just pitching a tent in a public park or a playground or by the water, right? And you have them over off of Charles Street, Branch Avenue, right? The homeless are over there. But these individuals, I'm trying to figure out exactly who they're bothering by being here. Unless, why doesn't the state get creative and work something out? Instead of, like, I want you to understand, I'm so opposed that we're paying the rent of these people at Motel 6. There's nothing about that. I'm seeing right now, the notice give those camp down the RVs. They have till tomorrow morning to leave. And go where, though? Where are they supposed to be going exactly? The campgrounds are very crowded. And the campgrounds, they sell out and they fill up. And it seems to be some kind of a racket. But I think the state, Governor McGreed, like with all the money he's been throwing around, you think they would come up with something to try to accommodate those that say, you know what, we're going to live in a camper, we're going to live in a trailer. I respect their privacy, folks. I was trying to get someone to come on camera. They chose not to, or they didn't want to, I should say. But the individual I spoke to, so they've been down in Florida the past few months. They keep their, they bring the camper up, and they're going to be in Rhode Island for the summertime. So, all right, I get it. It is public property, but I can't, with all the room we have, let alone in Coventry, why don't you just open up all that land that burned? Like, why don't we open more campgrounds, for crying out loud? Like, you're just going to send these people along on their way? So here's the thing with Governor McGreed. So now, if they were to ditch, thank you for the stars, if they were to ditch the campers and the trailers and instead go camp out on the steps of the State House, well then, for crying out loud, now we're going to give you a ride to Motel 6. We're going to put you up in the hotel room. I mean, to me, it makes like no sense at all that's the way they come across. So now I'm going to follow this. I mean, I fully understand. There was an accident in Cranston. There's the man going in. I'm going to give him his privacy. But these people, I mean, they're well dressed. Now, again, you could say, hey, they could afford to pay whatever it is at a campground, but everyone's agreeing that things are wildly expensive. So what I don't like about the McKee people is they're not even trying to do anything different, right? They're not even trying, like, you know, Coventry has a lot of space. You have some people in Coventry, and they're living out of these campers and trailers. So why don't we designate an area? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what all the risks are. We know that when we had the fire earlier in the month and all those acreage burned, I mean, there was no one living there. So these people, for crying out loud, they're not asking for anything. They don't seem to be bothering anyone. I'm just at a loss. Like, this is who they target, and this is who they go after. And what also should not be lost in you, and again, I separate, okay, it is totally within the right of Home Depot and Walmart to say we don't want these campers in our parking lot, okay? Totally get that. However, you would think someone in the McKee administration would say, well, wait a minute, you know, if we have a number of these people and they're self-reliant and, you know, they have cars and they seem to be taking care of themselves, why don't we establish some kind, you know, I don't fully have the answer. Many times when I post some of the photos of the homeless that are just like laying in a doorway, these people post to me like, well, what's your I'm just saying, this to me is a crowd that you would think you would try to work with. These are people that you would try to work with, right? These are people that you would try to come. I mean, they're halfway there. They have the camper. They have the trailer. I don't know exactly. Maybe it is they don't like. And I get the whole thing. Okay, you can't just be parking for free in these stores' parking lot. But at the very least, like, they're halfway there. So I don't know what the number is. But I don't think the solution should be, now we're just going to kick them out. Folks, do you see what I'm saying? There almost seems to be the people that are lying under the underpass on 95, or they're, you know, with the needle, or they're lying in a tent at the State House. Well, they are victims of the system, and they are, you know, we can't do enough to help them, and it's rotten what's going on. And every time, you know, if I post a photo or video, people are saying, you know, those are people, and how dare you, and you're a mean one, and all this other stuff. I mean, these are individuals, by all accounts, I don't know what their employment situation or anything like that, but at the very least, I mean, they have campers and trailers, and all right, so the store doesn't want them there, but, like, work with them. This, to me, seems like a crowd you could work with. The people at the homeless encampment, I'm not convinced or sure just how much you could, in fact, work with that type of crowd, because some of them certainly need, thank you for the stars on this Tuesday night. It's chillier than I thought. You would think, like, that's a tough one, right? That's a tough crowd where you feel like, okay, we're going to try to work with these crowds. Many of them do seem either they need some form of rehab, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whatever. But these people just need a place where they can park these campers and SUVs. That's the way I look at it. So, folks, I did want to draw attention to this. Thank you for everyone for your continued coverage, support of our coverage. Coming up, it was a little bit of a bracket. Coming up on Friday night, Cranston PD Live will back. Now, we have a long way to go. Tomorrow night, we're going to do first one on the scene live stream. I'll be riding with Mark. Now, it's still early. It's only 7:33. So we're going to monitor the news. And folks, I want you to understand. So when I say that, last night was a good example, right? It was 10:20, but there's a homicide in Portsmouth, and boom, we're live at the scene. Actually, before 11 o'clock, as I think of it, because we were live, making our way. Do a thumbs up if you like the wand light, by the way. So, but I did want to draw attention. I think it's unfair. I think, for whatever reason, without knowing all the details, I'm surprised. So no one could try to work with the crowd. No one could try to come to them and say, you know, hey, let's find a way to make this work with these individuals. So, folks, I want to just show you this is exactly where we are. And then you can see, in fact, the situation. Again, there's no litter. I'll say that. Whoever these individuals are, there's definitely clean. It's definitely clean. And they have all their campers and trailers, and maybe they have some problems. But at the very least, it does seem to be clean. All right, folks, Tuesday night, we'll be back. We're watching the news. You've been watching Juan After Dark.